Collateral damage.
This video addresses a controversial question. It can even be viewed by many as an uncomfortable question. The question is, did the powers that be on the left, including the Democratic Party and media, consider the death of Black Americans as simply collateral damage to win an election? Let's investigate this question. Keep in mind, I'm not saying I have the definitive answer to this, but I am going to lay out a case for it, and how the religion of wokeness played into it. So smash the like and subscribe buttons and let's jump on into this question. Our question for the most part has its beginnings on March 13, 2020, when Breonna Taylor was shot and killed by police in St. Louis. The story would get taken to a complete other level a few months later on May 25, 2020, when George Floyd died in Minnesota. We would see it continue to escalate with the death of Rayshard Brooks in June and the shooting of Jacob Blake in August. Now, all these situations are tragic to some extent, but we have to consider a few things. Firstly, that the media and the left presented narratives around them that did not fit the facts. Let's just look at the case of George Floyd for the moment, though we could also look at the other three the same way. What the media presented to us was a changed man who was forced to the ground by the police and responded to an illegal police tactic by saying, "I can't breathe." We were given that quote and one still photo of Officer Derek Chauvin with his knee on George Floyd's neck. When the facts emerged, it was evident that the situation was quite different. We had a man who was using illegal drugs and attempting to cash a fake check. This individual refused to enter the police car and requested to be placed on the ground. We now also understand that the technique employed by Officer Chauvin was indeed legal and in accordance with the police manual at the time. Furthermore, we now know that George Floyd was uttering "I can't breathe" well before Chauvin even arrived at the scene, let alone before he was placed on the ground. It is worth noting that the first officer on the scene was Black, a fact that the media omitted. Additionally, it has come to light that there were extenuating circumstances, such as the fire department, which was supposed to arrive promptly, going to the wrong location, resulting in the restraint being prolonged. It is now quite clear that the media, at the very least, knew all this and still pursued their narratives. It would also be challenging to believe that Democratic leaders were not aware of these details. The next thing to be aware of, as I've mentioned in a previous video, is that the media was using per capita stats to support their claim of racist cops, when in fact, if you account for violent crime, Black people are actually less likely to die by police than white people. So, it is now established that the left and its media were spreading a false narrative. You may be saying, well, it was for the good, the ends justified the means. Let's check out that claim a little further. In response to this claim, I'd like to highlight the phenomenon known as the Ferguson effect. This refers to the observed increase in violent crime following events like the Michael Brown incident in 2014, stemming from a lack of trust between police and residents. Interestingly, it's now also referred to as the George Floyd effect. To support this, let's delve into some statistics. For instance, in Minneapolis, there were 46 homicides in 2019, but this figure doubled to 96 homicides in 2021. Chicago experienced a similar trend, with murder victims increasing by just under 300 per year between 2019 and 2021. New York witnessed an escalation from 319 murders in 2019 to 468 in 2020 and 488 in 2021. These statistics offer a glimpse into the impact on several major cities. It's important to note that such inner-city murder rates disproportionately affect the Black community. Contrast these figures with the annual number of Black people killed by police nationwide, ranging from 222 to 251 between 2017 and 2022. Even if every police killing of Black individuals had been successfully eliminated, the heightened homicide rates in the 4 cities we've examined would have more than compensated for it. Realistically, achieving 0 police killings of Black individuals was impractical. Furthermore, the minimal impact observed in such incidents was likely influenced by reduced police presence, a factor that contributed to the initial rise in murder rates. It's worth noting that murder rates in most of these cities have begun to decline, a development expected as tensions ease and normalcy returns. The focus of this video, however, was always on a short-term increase designed to sway an election. In today's woke culture, mobilizing a significant number of people around the narrative of an oppressed group being hunted by the oppressor proved to be straightforward. This narrative aligns with a fundamental tenet in the woke ideology, akin to a religious belief. The media could present statistics that individuals might typically scrutinize, but given the ingrained nature of this new cultural belief system, framing things as oppressed versus oppressor made it easy to garner support for the cause. It's plausible that the average person caught up in today's woke culture believed they were doing the right thing. However, what strains credulity is the notion that left-wing media and politicians advocating for this narrative were unaware of its impact. They were well aware that pushing the defund the police movement would yield two outcomes: rallying their base for more votes and, concurrently, an increase in murder and crime rates. As highlighted in the video, the Ferguson effect has been recognized since 2014. While it's not definitive that this was their intentional strategy, it's challenging to conceive of an alternative explanation. There appear to be limited viable options, and one would hope that raising murder rates was not a deliberate move, with winning the election merely being a consequence. This aligns with the theme of truth emphasized in a previous video. As we approach the next election cycle and witness left-leaning media and the Democratic Party using police killings as red flag events, it's crucial to keep the insights from this video in mind. Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for the next video.